Flood Protection Secrets, the podcast to the protection against heavy rain and flooding by Dr. Flood, Andreas Klippe.
So the big challenge is, how can house owners like you and me get a flood-free home? How can business managers like you and me get a flood-free company? And how can public servants provide flood-free critical infrastructure and livable cities?
Flood Protection Secrets, the podcast by Dr. Flood, Andreas Klippe. This podcast is for foresighted and proactive people who do not want to shovel the muddy water out of their room while standing in the midst of the disaster.
Therefore, those who design and plan, the architects and engineers, need to construct such buildings and cities, and that even when the entire environment is completely flooded. That is a challenge, and this podcast will give the answers.
Flood Protection Secrets, the podcast by Dr. Flood, Andreas Klippe.
Hello and welcome again to another episode of Flood Protection Secrets. And recently we got a phone call, and a company located in an economic zone in the Philippines. So in Southeast Asia, there are of course many economic zones, and there is one around the Metro Manila area. And for reasons of confidentiality, of course, I don't mention the name. They are forced by their insurance company to protect the facilities. If not, they will not get the sales contract. Not the sales contract, the insurance contract. And then they called us and asked us, please give us a study. And then I said, my people first talked to them, what kind of study do you mean? We need to protect our premises and we need a study, a plan, an assessment. Oh, that was the first time the word assessment was mentioned. And then we explained how it is, and we explained the engineering assessment that delivers not only the different types of flood protection solutions, because there are always several options. You can have a simple option with portable flood barriers. You can use doors and gates, swinging doors and gates, for instance. You can use automatic systems, even permanent glass systems. Okay, for factories normally that is not an application. And it is also a question of operation. That means if you have a high quantity of entrances, how do you want to make sure that in case of emergency, in the middle of the night at 2:00 on a Sunday night, somebody, and I really say somebody because who is this somebody? Is it the guard? And that this somebody will close all the entrances as described in your emergency plan. Hopefully you have one. And if not, just call us. We can help you with that. But I think you're also able to do it on your own. And then this person is able to do that. Imagine you have 60 entrances for all buildings. That is impossible that one person alone can install all these barriers in a proper way in the middle of the night. And at the same time, the guard cannot leave his post. So that means that is a huge problem. So that is why there are different options of technology. And it is not the price, how much is it? Because that is what I hear again and again when the purchasing departments are calling, and that doesn't solve their problem. It is just a price for something that will never be installed and will never work. Because in reality, it doesn't work. You will be flooded, believe me, that doesn't work at all. I have seen companies in another company. I just want to share this experience. And when we arrived, we should focus on the four main gates. And then we went we went visiting the whole premises of the company. It was a manufacturing company. And they had one huge building and several separate buildings. And then we realized a kind of flood protection barrier attached to a wall. It was also hanging there. It was stored at a wall. And then we asked, what is that? These are flood protection barriers. They said, yes, we bought that from America a long time ago. And I said, and why do you talk to us? You already have a solution. They said, no, they are so heavy and some broke already and we never use them. We never use them. Oh, that's interesting. They never use them and they even don't know how to install them because they are quite complicated. They have some knobs, all 200 or 150 or 200 millimeters, I think all 200 millimeters at the left, at the right side of a middle support or side channel. And various modern systems or systems I'm using only have a top compression clamp. So it's with one hand installation when you want to compress a barrier. So you don't compress the barriers, you compress the sealing, the rubber sealing at the bottom, the base seal, and the bead seals in between several beams, beam number 2 and 3 and 4, and so on and so forth. So that is much easier. And they said, no, we don't use them anymore, and they are too heavy. And that is also something what has to be considered, that people at the end of the day, the employees, the staff, are using the barriers you were selecting and providing. So that is why there's always an option. There are always options, and that is what in an engineering assessment, at least as how we do that, is providing. And then, can you do something with it? No, you cannot, because you don't have any budget price. So in engineering, good engineering assessment always comes with a budget price for all these solutions. And does the budget price include the civil works? Most probably not, because when people ask for barrier solutions, they don't consider, in assessment, they don't consider civil works. And these civil works have an influence on the design of the site, of the buildings, of the landscaping. And you must showcase the influence of the flood control solution on the architectural and structural design of the site. So, and of course, what you need to do, you need to draw up a list of construction work required. So that is a so-called punch list, what we issue. And then based on that, you can calculate a budget price for a flood protection solution. That means the hardware, barriers, walls, backflow walls, for instance, or underground water table storage systems, piping, whatever, for your improved drainage system. And did I mention the barriers already? I think so. And the civil works, of course. And the storage system as well. What comes with the barriers, but what is very often forgotten, and the people don't consider the space for it. They don't consider the civil works to install it. And they don't consider the location of this storage area, because it might be that the storage area is too far away. So all these things are handled, described, discussed, investigated, and then described and presented in an RS engineering assessment. That is how we do it. And that is following my German standard. That is my understanding how to provide a solution to somebody that at the end it will really work. And then we described it to the customer. So I did not describe it on a phone call. So we made a Zoom meeting, and then the customer said, "Oh, that sounds good. Do you also do a hydrological study?" And we said, "Yeah, we can also do that. But you know your area already, and you know the rainfall. And why do you need that?" I think the insurance company wants to have it, and I think we also should have that. Okay. And what exactly I answered, and the surprising thing about the hydrological studies and the engineering assessment, that is what I'm going to tell you in the next episode. So please stay tuned. Today I just wanted to share you how it comes when a factory was flooded, or is under danger, and the insurance company is putting them under pressure. And they say, hey, you need a study, you need an assessment, you need a hydrological study, whatever it is, and then you do what these guys are telling you, and then you get your insurance contract and you are safe. And stay tuned, because I will reveal the secrets about the hydrological study and what it means to have an insurance contract, because people think they are safe. And the surprising fact I will reveal in the next episode of Flood Protection Secrets. Thank you for listening. If you haven't subscribed yet, please stay with us, stay with me on this channel. Subscribe, click on the button that you don't miss another episode. And as always, stay safe and flood free. I wish and hope for you that you make the right decisions when it comes to your personal flood protection. And if you enjoyed this episode, please subscribe to this podcast channel if you haven't already. Now it only remains for me to wish you a good day. Do something with it. Maybe until the next podcast episode. I would be very happy. See you then. As always, stay safe and flood free. Your Andreas Klippe and the whole Flood Experts team.
That's it again with a new episode of Flood Protection Secrets, the podcast by Dr. Flood, Andreas Klippe, German engineer, book author, and head of the Flood Experts. What can Dr. Flood, Andreas Klippe protect for you? Anytime? Worldwide? Contact us or just click through to www.thefloodexperts.de/bonus. Detailed engineering, German quality, safe. Flood protection secrets. The secrets you'll want to unfold.
Don't forget, you're only one flood barrier away.
Subscribe to the season, and you'll never be late for an episode.